Hi, everybody. Here it is. Happy Sun in Leo, Happy Moon in Leo, Happy New Moon. Today is Sunday, the 8th of August, 8/8, and it is New Moon in Leo, right at Lunasa time. So we have been spending this weekend here amongst friends and family. So I happen to have an audience here today, mostly of my friends, which I mean, you're all my friends, but but there's a lot of people I love here. And we had a lovely, very small gathering, which was, we invoked the bard and invoked the bardic parts of ourselves. And that's what this time in the season is about. So, in astrology and in the pagan year, uh, well, astrology, Western astrology starts with the spring equinox, and then each one, every 90 degrees, 91 days, there's a new season. Um, but the seasons are not defined by the beginning point. In other words, spring is not defined by Aries so much as it's defined by Taurus, the midpoint, Beltane. And so when I think of spring, I think of flowers, and I think of Beltane, and I think of the beauty of nature and the connection with Earth. When I think of summer, I think of the Leo times, the Leo energy, which is creativity, love, self-expression, and so this is a large part of the dynamics of the summer. And then the fall is not exemplified so much by Libra; it's exemplified more by Scorpio, midpoint of Scorpio, which is known as Samhain, Halloween, that sort of thing. And then the winter is not associated with Capricorn as much as it's associated with Imbolc, the midpoint of Aquarius, and the icy winds of winter and that sort of thing, and the ideas, and the Aquarius is also the water bearer. So here you have the well, breeds well and all that other stuff. So there's 8 power points in the year, and the 4 seasons, and what they call the cross quarters. And energy in astrology radiates from the middle of the fixed signs outward. The way that the year has been celebrated, the midpoints, Beltane, they say May 1st. It's really May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Lunasa or Lamas, been celebrating on August 1st. It's really August 7th or 8th. And the Samhain celebrated on November 1st. It's really November 7th is the midpoint. And same with Imbolc in the winter, it's February 5th instead of, the 2nd. And so, whole long discussion about the calendar, the Roman calendar, and basically it's off. But that's so people have been refocusing the energy just a little bit early most of the time. So the power point of summer is 15 degrees Leo, is August 7th, August 8th. People like numbers like 8/8. Yeah, it's in there. And so the energy of summer is exemplified by Leo. So it's Sun and Moon, and also Mercury in Leo right now. I've noticed in the course of this weekend 4 or 5 conversations going on at once all over the place. This is the time for communication, the time for sharing ideas, the time for being very verbal, for connecting with your friends, your family, your peers, the ones that you want to learn and teach from, and make those communications. So that's very much in the forefront right now, and in the coming time. This is traditionally the time of the first fruits of the first harvest, and Lu, the sun god, gets slaughtered every year, and which is kind of like the cutting of the grain. And if you ever heard the song "John Barleycorn Must Die," it's about that. It's about the first harvest, and so this is a time. Yeah, there's planting seeds for it to embody the future, but there's a lot of harvesting going on right now as well. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are in Virgo. Mars in Virgo is really good for getting stuff done. You may have noticed that the last couple of weeks we've been, kind of like, there's been a lot of doing. Mercury is about, the mental framework, and it's actually in Leo now, but goes into Virgo in a few days. And so Mercury is super mentally stimulating. Mercury in Leo is about creative ideas. Mercury in Virgo is going to be about putting it into action. And particularly Mercury is going to catch up with Mars and all that other stuff. And so there's going to be, So this is a time for playful doing in order to jam on something, in order to create into the future. And the energy is going to focalize through Earth next. So first you get fired up, then you put that fire in the hearth. Venus is also in Virgo right now, which is also contributes to how this is summer is naturally touchy-feely time, but Venus and Virgo is a little bit, well, I don't know, I need to be kind of the safe distance thing, Venus moves into Libra in a week, so about approximately, the middle of the month. Venus in Libra is going to be good for social life, good for finding balance with others. Saturn's retrograde in Aquarius. Jupiter's also in Aquarius. They're both retrograde. So there's a lot of people energy right now and a lot of ideals. Jupiter had moved into Pisces, but has moved back into Aquarius to kind of give us another fuller picture of the human development. On a big scale, it's all about the compassion for other people who may not be like us. Uranus and Taurus, lots of earth changes. Neptune in Pisces. Neptune it's not really connecting with anything that much this month, but next month Neptune, the dreamer, and the dream will come into play, and that's a talk for next month. Pluto's still in Capricorn, also retrograde, and so the moving and shaking is still going on the socio-political levels, and the earth changes and all that, and it's not like, and it's coming to a head. It's like, no, pay attention, and that already happened. Armageddon has already happened. Now we're at a place where we're at a 0 point into the future. So the outer planets are not making a unified statement right now, and the inner planets have to do with social aspects of ourself, and they change very quickly. So the trigger points are not a unified trigger point. So there's not one path, except that the path right now is for creativity, and then moving into problem solving and direction, and the nuts and bolts of how to move that creativity forward. That's where we're at. A lot of the other patterns that are possible right now are more diverse. But before I go into that, Sun and Moon in Leo. So the new moon starts a new cycle, a new emotional cycle. So the last few days, we had a balsamic moon, which is an ending point, the dark moon cycle. And you may have noticed on about the 4th, 5th, 6th of August, moon in Cancer, balsamic moon in Cancer, it would have been a time when a lot of emotions would be coming up for people. And then there's a rebirth that happens at the new moon, which is Sunday morning today, and we can start to really harness our creativity and our expression. This gathering we just had this weekend had everything to do with bardic skills and with finding our inner creativity, and a major reason for that and stimulating that at this time is this is the time to maximize our creativity, to take the sunlight in, and to kind of turn that in through the chlorophyll of our being, to turn that into the fruits and the produce that we're producing right now. And it's a very mental kind of a vibe right now, as well as the social aspect. Now, of course, we've been dealing with this pandemic, this plague, and it's been over a year now. So right now we're at high summer. We're at the time when people want to be most interactive, most loving, most touchy-feely, that sort of thing. And we're still challenged by this energy. The resurgence that happened, particularly in the last few weeks, was under there was a T-square of Sun opposition retrograde Saturn and square with retrograde Uranus. We've just gotten through that in the last day or two. And so basically there's been some recent, so that T-square would be like things not going as planned, the cancellation of various gatherings and events and things like that due to the plague, and having like one agenda and being like, yeah, I'm gonna do this summer, and then it's like, nope, no, you're not. Uranus being at right angles, sort of like, no. The reality with Earth plane is surprise, monkey wrench in your program. Something else is going on. So that's the recent past. There's a lot of aspects, I usually hang this talk on the aspects that are coming up, but I'm like, boy, everything just happened. And now what we're supposed to do with this month is actually find our own route for creative expression, to share that with others, the communications and so forth, and to start to network that. Not so much like fame and fortune as much as getting clarity by way of interacting, by way of being, by way of embodying. Leo times is all about role playing, and one of the aspects of Lunasa, which we've been playing with this weekend, is about bragging. Is actually about creative bragging. So we become what we say we are. If we're not willing to talk about it, it's sort of like, no, you have to be courageous and be fully embodied and being like, yes, and I'm a fairy shaman and I'm doing this thing, and in my case I'm an astrologer, but I build great outhouses, and that kind of thing. So however it is. Find what I want to do is give you all homework, and it's based on Joseph Campbell and how he said that the Catholic confession should be modified, and instead of like a list of all the shortcomings that you've done and then being able to heal it by way of X amount of Hail Marys, he was saying that you should go to the priest and be like, bless me, Father, for I have been great. So your homework is to brag, find something to brag about yourself, and and it's something you can be really good at, or you're formulating in your being, or you're creating an affirmation of that thing. Of course, there's illusions out there, but we want to basically, if you can role play it, if you can embody it, even for a moment. As I'm embodying being an astrologer for 10 or 15 minutes a month, where that's what I'm doing. That's the hat I'm wearing. And if you can embody that, remember that all the world is a stage. And so what we need to do is actually figure out our creative part in the dance, and we're the center of our own universe. And now's the time to not be shy about that, to be just like, yeah, I'm going to blow my own horn here, or I'm going to, bounce off of another person. One exercise we've been doing has been talking about how awesome someone else is in the group, so it's a time for, it's a time for bragging, and that's okay, there's a difference between being egotistical and actually recognizing the strength of our own being. And yes, thank you for that accent there. And so so that's what our goal is for the next coming time. And the challenges to that can include Mars is in Virgo, Mercury is in Virgo, Venus Virgo. Venus will go into Libra soon. which will be really good for social life and for people and stuff like that. But very short term, all that Virgo energy is about fine-tuning and about drawing it in and being kind of the hermit in yourself that allows the energy to be focalized. So here I'm saying, go out and play. But I'm also saying, yes, and I recognize that now is a time for building connections, for building stuff, for building your, the next aspect of your workday world. But it's a very creative time, and it can really allow for that fine-tuning into something really fabulous growing. And I don't know what that is for each person, because it changes for each person. I know what it is for me. If you showed me your horoscope, I'd know what it is for you. I'd have serving suggestions, But basically, what is it that you want to be great at? We can either strengthen our weakest link, or we can go for what we're really good at. And those are the two approaches to life. And yeah, Virgo times are coming after this. So this is the time to, starting now, August 8th, starting today is the time to bridge into the future with our creativity. All this pandemic stuff and all the drama that's been happening, and personal disappointments in there, or death and mayhem or whatever, basically it's the egg cracking open. And now we have an opportunity we didn't have in the past to do something with it. But the doing something with it, I don't have the formula for you. What I have is the ability to hear what you want to create, and to help, dance with you on that. So let's do that for each other now and in the coming time. The dark side of Virgo coming up is about being hypercritical, about being like nothing is good enough. We're all works in progress. The Richard Bach's simple test for if you still have lessons as a human. It's like, are you in a body? Okay, if you're here, you still got stuff to learn, stuff to teach, and stuff to share. So go out there in the sunlight, go out there and dance, and create a new role for yourself. Because otherwise, what happens is people and entities with less vision than you will create that role for you if you don't do it for yourself. So that's why you want to be creative and courageous. So those are the two key words. And remember, your homework is to find something amazing about yourself and brag about it. All right. Hearing silence, except from the birds.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I call this meeting to disorder. Yay, thank you. Hey, that was fun. All right.